Okay, so the big question, how am I going to get better fuel economy out of this big thing, this big truck? Here's the even bigger question. What about this big truck? So we've got a Prado, it's 2,800 kilos with fuel and a bit of water and me sitting in it with all the modifications. Add some camping gear and a family and more camping gear. And it's heavy, mate. It's a heavy vehicle. They're about 3 tonne. We've got big unaerodynamic bull bars, antennas, light bars, roof racks, awnings, shovels, tyres, big heavy tyres with less rolling resistance, lift kits, big heavy bash plates, and everything to make the fuel economy worse. So if you want better fuel economy, I'll tell you the small things first and we'll get to the biggest thing eventually, right? There's a lot of things you can do. Don't add. Less is more. Don't add accessories you don't need. Think long and hard before you spend $1 on any modification. Is this for good or bad? Are you going to regret this later? Is it a waste of money? Have you got money to waste? If you've got money to waste, bolt everything to the car and pay for the fuel. But, you know, not the best thing for the environment either, is it? So, you know, all things being considered, I think really you've got to start off with the right vehicle, and we're going to get to that. So, a few things you can do to help make your fuel economy better on these vehicles. We've mentioned it before, but I still see people asking questions on, you know, on our Facebook groups, you know, places like, you know, hashtag 1KD Forever Crew, you know, that's that one there. If you've got that, this is this engine we're looking at, right? You know, the other engine, you know, 1GD Forever Q, hashtag 1KZ Forever Crew, 1GR Forever Crew, right? Anyway, so I still see people asking questions like, oh, you know, my economy is this, you know, what can I do to make it better? Well, subscribe, turn the bell on, because this is what we do. We tell you the truth about cars, okay? Nobody's paying me to tell you anything what I do or don't tell you. I just tell you the truth. We work it out. That's what we do, and we tell you how it is to help people, because I understand. Hey, I don't know about, what don't I know about? I don't know that much about teeth. I'm not a dentist, right? So I do what I do, you do what you will do. If you're good at it, please, you know, do something to help the people. That's awesome, right? Imagine we just all helped each other out. It would be awesome. So what can we do here to make the fuel economy better? So obviously, all your base servicing is going to make a difference, the right oil, regular oil changes, but that's not going to change it instantly, of course, unless you use the wrong oil. If you use a lighter oil, it's going to save a bit of fuel, not a lot, but over time. So the servicing is preventative maintenance. It prevents problems, right? It makes things last longer. Lubrication to protect things, keep them running right. Now, some of the other things just quickly, okay? Having the air filter clean, it's not going to make a big difference. A blocked air filter is probably going to save you fuel, okay? More, because when it's clean, more air, more fuel, yeah, it'll go better. You're going to use more fuel, right? So a blocked air filter is actually good. Don't change it. Well, I'm not sure about that, but that's what I found in my vehicles, okay? I didn't drive everybody else's that had a blocked air filter, but in my vehicles, when I say, wow, that's dirty, and I've changed the air filter in any, I'm not talking about this car, I'm talking about, we've owned dozens of vehicles over the decades, right? And I find the same, okay? You put a K&N filter in, you get a little bit more performance. You might get a better economy, but you might get worse economy. It depends what car and how much fun you're having, right? So, air filter, but more so than the air filter, the king of sensors here, the MAF sensor, it needs to be clean. MAF, M-A-F, mass airflow, if I can speak, mass airflow, right? Mass airflow. It needs to give the right signal to the computer so it does all the right things. That's an important one. Another sensor that's really important, you can't see it at the moment, but it's underneath this cover. Yep, you know the one, it's the MAP filter. Every vehicle probably, you know, like a turbocharger at least, whatever. Let's just talk about these. Most vehicles, yeah, I mean, I won't say every vehicle because they don't all. Most vehicles have a MAP filter, a MAP sensor, MAP, manifold absolute pressure sensor, okay? It's really important. It's that important, they put a filter in line so that it doesn't get contaminated, okay? Excuse me. There's that talk too much, not drink enough water thing again, and the constant allergy from something, you know, dust and pollen and anything. Anything upsets my system. But anyway, here we are. There's a filter, it's just under there. It's in different places on different vehicles. We've demonstrated in that in other videos, so we're not going to go on about it. You can clean it regularly, but what's going to block it up is that EGR, exhaust gas recirculation. All that soot in the intake is going to get to it on any vehicle. The newer the vehicle, the worse it's going to be. In my opinion, you need to replace them periodically, right? You do need to change them. I'm not going to give you the part number because it varies from vehicle to vehicle. Even the Prados, there's a couple of, Prados, Hiluxes, a couple of different ones, the 1KZ. They're much the same thing, but it's a different configuration with, excuse me, the size of it, where it clips in, what position, and the position of the little innie-outie vacuum connections. So make sure that's clean. They're two things you can do to make sure it's right. Let's be honest here. The right clean oil, the right clean air filter, clean MAF sensor, fuel filters. Fuel filters can make a difference. If it is restricted and blocked, I've had vehicles, I shouldn't know this, back when we used to work on Nissans anyway, I'll just think of this one particular D4, it was a D40 Navara, right, they have the fuel filter, it's been a while, if I remember correctly, the fuel filter, it sits around about here, part number, I can't remember, anyway, probably whatever, they're all very similar. It probably might even be a 699, but I doubt it. Could be that 252X or, very similar filters used on these vehicles, but it doesn't matter. The point is, I had one come in, it was running bad, blowing smoke, carrying on, all sorts, and I went, okay, back to basics first, mate. You don't service this thing, so let's do that and see what happens. And by changing the air and fuel filter and cleaning those sensors, transformed the vehicle. Now, don't get me wrong, it needed injectors, it needed a suction control valve, which, again, he doesn't service the cars, you're going to spend the money doing the injectors. So, no, it went out running 80-90%, and that's about as good as Nissans get anyway. No, just joking. They're pretty good, just not good as Toyotas. Anyway, it's just how it is, guys. I'll just tell you the truth. I told you that. I'm going to tell you the truth. Good cars, don't get me wrong. I'd own a D40 Navara, if there weren't any Toyotas. Anyway, so I do like them, okay? There's things I like about them. We're not talking about Nissans though, we're talking about economy. The biggest thing you can do is not have modifications. Keep your tyre pressures right, that makes a big difference. Don't carry any excess weight or anything in the vehicle. If you want to save fuel, don't carry a storage system and a fridge and an awning and a roof rack, all the weight and the wind resistance. The other thing is, don't dawdle, but don't be in too much of a hurry to get to speed. Look ahead, look at the lights. Are you coming up to a red light? Just take care of how you drive a little bit. Maybe watch my videos, see how I drive. Something along those lines could be of benefit, watching those. The other thing is speed, the faster you go. Just understand, people talking about fuel economy, this car's a brick, mate. These are an absolute brick. There's no fuel economy going on, right? The faster you go, the harder you're pushing into the wind. It uses more horsepower, more fuel to maintain the speed. So I would suggest, if you want economy, it's 70 to 90 kilometers an hour is your best economy speed range, is going to be your optimum, and using the right gears. Keep it back and forth. Like we said in other videos, if it's a 5-speed auto, the most popular, like the most popular engine here, the 1KD, the 5-speed auto and the Prado, bang, keep it in fourth. If you're doing 110, you might want to use fifth. All depends on your tyre size. I can't go into it too much. And then it comes down to car selection. These are the sorts of things you've got to look at. Maybe you just need something a bit smaller. I'm quite serious when I say maybe this is what you need. I mean, there's a lot of different vehicles, and the other thing I know, there's a lot of people driving around in Prados that should probably be in Camrys. Now, Camrys are great cars. They're going to cost you a lot less to purchase, especially if you buy one second hand. They cost almost nothing to run, okay? So if you're thinking about fuel economy and you're doing trips that are mainly less than 10 Ks, why do you own a Prado? You've got to ask yourself those questions. These vehicles, maintenance and service, look, they're cheaper to buy second hand. They hold their value pretty well once they're second hand. They don't hold their value as well as a Prado or a Cruiser for whatever reason, but that's fine. Probably maybe better now. I think mainly, government using them, and like Commodores and Falcons, dime a dozen, so cheap as chips, but awesome vehicle, good looking vehicle, very comfortable, safe. They've got all your airbags, they've got everything. These cars have got everything you need and kind of nothing you don't. Let's just have a quick look, nice enough, comfortable enough car. This is, just an average, whatever, run of the mill. What is that, a 2000 and, which one is it? Yep, that one, that's the one we wanted. Let's have a look under the bonnet and check out the power of this beast. It needs a wash by the looks of it. It's got a bit of what I copped on me the other day, right? Let's talk about how simple these cars are just for a moment, okay? Right. So, right, tyres, cheap compared to four-wheel drive tyres. I mean, you can spend probably, I don't know, 600, 700, 800 bucks for a set if you like, but you can probably get something for 400 or 500. Depends what you want. and they last, whatever. You know, you're gonna have to put a battery in it eventually, but as far as service goes, there's nothing under this car, right? All the bearings are sealed. You got to check and change brakes every now and then, but generally the pads on these cars last over 100,000 k, so it's cheap. There's nothing at the back. It's all sealed bearings. All the bushes will be fine. You're going to see hundreds of thousands of k's out of these and still not need any, you know, if you look after it, any sort of much replacement. And service wise, all you've got is oil, you know, depending, we're not talking just Camry here, but similar vehicles like this, whether it's a Mazda 6 or whatever, right? You know, you've got oil, you've got an oil filter, you know, it's sort of 4 or 5 litres of oil, you've got an oil filter, you've got an air filter every now and then. I think the genuine air filter for these is about 25 bucks, half the price of a four-wheel drive. You can pop that in yourself when watching our videos. Yeah, they've still got a MAF sensor to clean, but if you're not taking it off-road in the dirt and dust, you can see all the dirt and dust. And yeah, here's the paddocks. Check this out, right? Keep out. Right, we're on the edge of the paddocks here. There you go, right? This is development and dump your rubbish, right? So anyway, bada bing, my point is very reliable, very cheap to run, much cheaper on maintenance to own a vehicle like this, and you can fit in car parks, okay? There's a lot of advantages. They've got a massive boot. Let's have a look. What am I going to sell you a damn Camry now, right? You know, you can get yourself a Corolla or whatever you want, you know? These cars are still pretty relatively simple, right? Look at that massive boot. Like, can you see in there? It's a bit, look how I go right up, and you can even fold, you know, fold the seats. They're a big boot. There's heaps of room in there. That's just crazy, right? What a good looking car. Yeah, whether you want a, you know, a Prado or a Landcruiser or a Kluger or a Camry or a Corolla, if you stick within the Toyota range, you can't really go wrong. They're all very good cars. Obviously the ones made in Japan I think are best. This is an Australian made model. They're very good. They don't have, you know, I'll tell you some of the small issues, things they have, but you don't know, this is an RZ model, you know, you spend sort of, I think they're about $3 more, you get some fancy wheels, you know, because everyone loves their black wheels. And how good do the black wheels look on silver? Yeah, some people don't like it. If you don't like it, zip, just keep it shut, right? But some of the things that happen is, see, because they add on these plastic spoilers, right? And they sometimes just don't stick on that. I'm just giving you some ideas, you know, that's about it, you know. They're damn good cars, but, you know, the replacement model, I believe, is made in Japan, so it's probably going to be back to even better again, and too much technology. So go and grab yourself a second hand. Look, this Camry, 4 years old, okay? We've had Corollas, Camrys, and whatever as well, not just Prados and everything. We've had a lot of cars. Very good cars, guys. Something to think about. Which car do you want to drive? Which car do you want to own? And why? Because it could be costing you a lot of money unnecessarily. So look, the cost of maintaining one of these beasts is massive in comparison. Some people think that I just want to tell you to buy a Prado so I can work on Prados and make money. Well, it's actually quite the opposite. I'm so in demand. I can do anything. There's so many things I can do, and I don't want to be too big, massive, some big greedy organization. I just want to help you guys, right? So it doesn't bother me if you have a Prado or a Kluger that I don't work on, or a Camry that I don't work on. If you all go and buy Camrys and everyone sells their Prados, of course we'll be working on Camrys again, because that's the majority. We're going to help you out with those, but I'll tell you straight, there's not going to be much to tell you. I'll probably have to sell your tires, I'll do your brakes, I'll change your oil, and that's about it. Everyone will be happy. Bada bing, we'll do like 15 a day, cha-ching, 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 out the door. Anyway, stop crapping on Anthony. The economy you can expect on the Camry is around about 9 litres per 100 k's. Okay, we had a number of different Camrys. It's going to be. Sometimes you're going to get 7 or 8 on a really good, nice highway run. You're going to get 9. You're going to get 10, but you can pretty well expect about 9 flat. You might get 10. Depends what fuel you're using. Ethanol, are you using 91, 95, 98? It does vary depending on which engine as well. It varies a little bit. But you can expect 9 flat. Doesn't matter if you're doing cold starts, short trips, long trips. The faster you go, look. That model Camry, they handle it pretty well, but a lot of the Camrys in 4-cylinder, because it's got a heap of power, right? It goes like a rocket ship, mate. A lot more fun to drive than a Prado. If you like fast, all these people that chips and tunes and whatever, you're in the wrong car. I'm not saying a Camry's a fast car, but it's a fast car. If you think back 20 years ago, you're buying your V8 Commodores, mate, it'll keep up with your 5-litre V8 Commodore, whatever, mate. It's a rocket ship, and they handle a lot better too. It's going to blow it away. Sit me in a Camry, you go and grab your or what we're up to, 5, you know, you can go and get yourself a VNSS. I'll race you around Phillippi and we'll just see how that works out for you. Anyway, look, we're done here. Just to get you the big picture on fuel economy sort of thing. At the end of the day, you know, bada bing, you know, kind of like, you know, 9 litres per 100 Ks. And if you're getting 11, 12, look how big these trucks are. You've got to expect to get about 13 or 14. But the fact is, this one right here gets about 11, 11 and a half. The one over there gets about 10, you know, off-road tyres and whatever. You can get better on better trips. Anyway, I hope that helps, guys. I'm out of here. Bada bing. Just sharing the info, genuine information, truth about cars. Please give us a thumbs up if you like that and subscribe, turn the bell on. Thanks for watching. See ya.